Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Ambar Priyaraj and I welcome you all to discussing the part 2nd of the ongoing Sri Lankan economic crisis. So far we have seen that how Sri Lanka went into an economic crisis, what was the background and the total foreign debt on Sri Lanka. In this video, I will talk about how has India assisted Sri Lanka in this crisis and why helping Sri Lanka is in India's interests. But before beginning this video, I'd like to urge you all to watch part 1 of this video and the link is provided in the I button. Go check it out. So let's get started. Beginning January 2022, India has been providing crucial economic support to the island nation in the grip of a severe dollar crisis that many fear might lead to a sovereign default and a severe shortage of essentials in the import-reliant country. The relief extended by India from the beginning of 2022 totals over 1.4 billion US dollars. A 400 US dollar currency swap, a 500 US dollar loan deferment, and a 500 US dollar line of credit for fuel imports. More recently, India extended a 1 billion US dollar short-term concessional loan to Sri Lanka to help the country as it faces an unprecedented economic crisis. Now the question arises that why helping Sri Lanka is in India's interests. Crucially, any disillusionment in Sri Lanka with China eases India's effort to keep the Lankan archipelago out of China's string of pearls game in the Indo-Pacific. It is in India's interest to contain Chinese presence and influence in this region. To the extent India can extend low-cost help to alleviate the hardships of Sri Lankans, it should, however, must be done with due care, keeping in mind that the optics of its aid matters too. So what can be the way forward for Sri Lanka? There are certain measures to be taken by Sri Lanka. The government should take measures for economic recovery of the country as soon as the shortage of certain essential commodities ends, which is expected before the start of the Sinhala Tamil New Year in mid-April. The government should also join hands with the Tamil political leadership to create a roadmap for the economic development of the war-affected northern and eastern provinces among the areas badly hit by the current crisis. It would be best to raise domestic tax revenue and shrink government expenditure to limit borrowing, particularly sovereign borrowing from external sources. Tough measures should be taken for restructuring the administrations of concessions and subsidies. India's assistance. It would be completely unwise for India to let the Chinese take over expanding chunks of Sri Lankan territory. India must offer Sri Lanka financial help, policy advice and investment from Indian entrepreneurs. Indian business must build supply chains that intervene the Indian and Sri Lankan economies in goods and services ranging from the export of tea to IT services. India, rather than any other nation, should help steer Sri Lanka towards realizing its potential to reap the rewards of a stable, friendly neighborhood. Preventing illegal refuge. The state of Tamil Nadu has already started feeling the impact of the crisis with the reported arrival of 16 persons from Sri Lanka through illegal means. Tamil Nadu was home to nearly 3 lakh refugees after the anti-Tamil program of 1983. The authorities, both in India and Sri Lanka, should ensure that the present crisis is not used to step up smuggling activities and trafficking or whip up emotions in both countries. Crisis as an opportunity. Neither Sri Lanka nor India can afford to have strained ties. As a much larger country, the onus is on India. It needs to be extremely patient and engage Sri Lanka even more regularly and closely. There is also a need to step up our people-centric developmental activities while scrupulously staying clear of any interference in Colombo's domestic affairs. The crisis should be used as an opportunity for New Delhi and Colombo to thrash out a solution to the Park Bay fisheries dispute, a long-standing irritant in bilateral ties. Ladies and gentlemen, this is for the day. I have thoroughly covered the ongoing Sri Lankan economic crisis and I would urge you to like this video, share among your friends and fellow aspirants, and yes, subscribe to my channel for content as such. We'll meet next time. Till then, Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.